What we have here is a pair of Panaracer Gravelking X1 tyres in 700 by 45. This is completely out of my comfort zone because normally I read reviews over and over and over, but these tyres looked so good on release that I've just bought a set without waiting for reviews and so on. And what we're going to do is we're going to put them onto the Hunt Super Dura wheels. Right, so they come in quite a neat little box. Of course that all adds to the price of the tyre, but you know, it makes you feel good because you spend a lot of money on something. So, the moment of truth. Do they go onto the rim? And of course, are they directional? Well, they've got a little arrow on them. It doesn't actually say rotation direction, but nevertheless we'll put them round that way just in case. So let's see if we can get them on the rim. They certainly couldn't have made it any harder, could they? Right, so I'm just going to use tyre levers to help them on the last little bit. And again, I know the purists will criticise me because the idea is you can put the tyre on unassisted. But there we go, they're on. Not too bad at all. It's unusual that they'll seat at this stage without putting soapy water on. But I have had tyres in the past that would seat with just a pump. So let's give it a try. And there they go. So here we go, first ride on the new Gravelking X1 tyres. And once again, I'm out of my comfort zone here. Bloody hell. So it is still flooded. It's been like that for months. Hasn't rained for a while now. But as I said, I'm out of my comfort zone today. Because normally I like to do a short little test ride before I actually make a video. But this is the first time the tyres have hit the deck. Put them on last night, and on top of that I put them on the Hunt wheels, which I took off the Trek. So not only have we got new tyres, we've got wheels that have never been on this bike and a brand new cassette. Interestingly, just for fun, I weighed the front wheel with tyre, brake disc and sealant, and then I weighed the Giant wheel in the same configuration, and the Giant wheel is actually 75 grams lighter. Now I know it's got a different tyre on, that might have something to do with it and so on, but even so, the Giant wheels aren't actually that bad. So did they go on easily? Well, not really. I mean, they were easy enough to get on. Did it on my own, didn't need any help. But they weren't as easy as the Maxxis Ramblers. And they were much easier than the Vittorio Terreno Dry. What was really interesting was how easily I got them to seat. Just using the track pump with the valve core in, pumped them up, crack, 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 and they seated. Simple as that. I do think that's the hardest climb of the day. I hope it is anyway. Just for reference, when it comes to seating these tyres, these are 45mm and the rim bed on these hunts is 20mm. Once I'd got the tyres seated, I took the valve core out and filled them with sealant. Muck-Off reckons 60mm, so I put 70 in. And try syringe through the valve. I know a lot of people say you shouldn't do that. Leave the tyre off, pour the sealant on in and then put the tyre back on, but you know, I'm a clumsy bloke and chances are that's going to end in tears with sealant all over the floor. And anyway, what happens if you can't get the tyre onto the rim and it's full of sealant? Or if you get it on the rim and it refuses to seat, you've got to take it off again. And I'm not suggesting anybody else should do it the same way as me. I'm not a qualified mechanic. I'm just doing it the way that I see easiest. It's unbelievable how wet it is. Got to be really careful on this path. It's incredibly popular with dog walkers. Quite often the dogs are off the lead. I had one chase me, come running towards me and then stopped right in front of the bike. I had to slam the brakes on and jump off. Oh, I've got to climb over a gate here. It's only the second time I'm riding this particular route, or this section of it anyway. If you watched the previous video when I was discovering new routes, well, this was one of them. Trying to ride these tyres on a variety of surfaces. Looks are always a subjective thing, aren't they? But I think these tyres look really nice. With the tan sidewall. Well, of course the critical question is, when it comes to tyres, is how do they ride? And obviously, this is a very early first impression. But I'm impressed. They roll along really nicely. And I've been over some mud, some hard pack, some loose gravel, cycle paths, and of course a lot of road. And we even did some wading. And yeah, they do seem to feel really good. Obviously we'll have to report back in a few months and see if I'm still loving them. It's always a bit concerning when you see a sign that says event parking here, because if there's an event on, it requires tickets. You've ridden down here and then you can't get all the way through. You have to go all the way back again. One thing I will say about these tyres is they do seem to flick up gravel more than the Ramblers. As I'm riding along, I'm hearing sounds of gravel hitting the frame. Obviously flicked up by the tyres. Having said that, less so now than when I started out, so maybe it's just when they're new. And there's the Margam country house in all its glory. So on this, there's no carts down this hill. And I'll bet there's kids everywhere going, yes there are, watch this. It's like in the old days when you used to send off your photographs to be printed and then send them back in an envelope with a big sticker on that said, photographs do not bend. And the postman would go, yes they do, and fold them in half.